But I'll make copies for everybody. Everybody who wants to chazer over it. As always, it's very important to chazer over, to review, and to do it in your own space, in your own time, in your own mind, in your own thoughts, in your own situations, and trying to work it through. Because that's what makes it real. That's a kinyan nafshi. We hear a shir, sometimes it can go in one ear, out the other. Sometimes it goes in one ear, it hangs around by the eyes a little bit, and then pops out the ears. Sometimes it goes up to the brain a little exciting, and then it goes out of the brain. There's different levels, but we want it to go into the ears, down into the heart, and to settle in that place. And the way to do that is when a person is himself. He takes it, he learns it himself, he thinks about it himself, he davens for it. He does all of the things himself, really, because that's how you get it to the heart. Nobody could get anything to your heart. You can get it to your head. Dabbles a little bit in the heart, but it's really the mind. Someone can inspire you. You could see something. You can sing a sad song, and someone can become, emotionally inspired by it. But it's quick in, quick out until you take it, until you take the emotion and you work through it and you work on it. So we've been discussing really the social aspect, relationships between people, different types of relationships for a few weeks now. And although we said that you can deal with all social situations of life through the work of midos, real midos work, chesed and gaiva and seder and simcha and kas and anava and kapdonis. There's many midos. Each one can be worked on. Many months of work. And it's a very, very gishmak type of avoda. Hard work, but worth it, and it feels good. However, we're not doing that. We're really trying to almost bypass the whole midos system. We're trying to use a special key, and that's the key of bitachon. And if we really download the sugya of bitachon really strong into our heart, based on everything we've been learning for a long time, that emunah, the 7 conditions, the 5 ways to use it, again and again you're thinking about it, and you have that in your hands as a tool. Now you can use that tool literally everywhere. Bitachon can be literally used everywhere. As it's a relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. The Kadosh Baruch Hu is everywhere, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu is all powerful, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu is in all places and all times. So then, where can you not use it? Right? It'd be illogical to say you can't use bitachon somewhere. It's a relationship with the one who's everything and right? Ain't sof. So we've been using it very often in the Shaar Habitachon. That's what we're trying to do. For the first parak or 2 or 3, we're truly trying to download in our systems what bitachon is, trying to live with it, and then parak dalet and on, we're now utilizing it in different areas of life. I'm giving you many examples. It's not a one-time read. It's a constant avoda of thinking, trying to feel, do, davening, thinking, doing more, falling, failing, breaking down, getting back up again, working on it again, reanalyzing. This is how it goes. No one's potter. We're not AI. You can't just put it into your head and start spitting out emotions. That AI can't do. It can spit out all the intellect in the world, but it cannot spit out emotions. That's up to us. They're limited. So what we have to do is we have to take in all the information, download it into our heart, and then we could spit out the proper emotions. Right? AI stops at the head. That's artificial. The real stuff is where it's in the heart. They got no heart, they never will have a heart. Impossible. So what we're doing now is we went through 6 general ways of drawing bitachon into situations, and then we brought out specific situations. Now just to also, hagdama. Again, midos versus bitachon, we're using bitachon. Also, there's a person having no bitachon, and there's a person having 100% bitachon. And then there's all of us who are somewhere in the middle. Which means we need to learn what could be if we fully have bitachon downloaded, how we could look in our situations of life. However, we have to also know, very importantly, where we're holding. We have to always know what the top of the mountain is. We have to see. Otherwise, we don't know how to grow, how to climb. We don't know where we're going. You have to know what the top is, point A. Point B, you have to know where you're holding. It doesn't matter if you're on level 1. God wants to climb a mountain. Right? Let's climb a mountain. Mount Everest, 29,000 miles, whatever it is, feet. He's at the bottom. So you have a guy who's 50 feet up, and he looks down and says, "What a loser! You're only on the first foot. You barely got anywhere." So the guy would simply say, "I didn't start yet. You're crazy. I didn't start yet." But a person has to know wherever he's holding is exactly where he is. You're on level 1, so be it. So start now. You're on level 2, so be it. You're on level 10 and you fell to level 5. Okay, so you're on level 5. Go to level 6. If you went from level 10 to level 5, don't start looking down. Maybe I'm going to go to 4, 3, 2. That's not a mahalach. Right? So know the top of the mountain where we're going. Know who you are, where you're holding. Be okay with that. If you need some self-compassion, some self-nurturing, you might need that also. There's a lot of midas that need to go into, and a lot of bitachon that needs to go into being okay with where you are. But that's also bitachon. I trust that HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows where I am, he's happy with it, and I'm happy with it. Right? It's a quick bitachon work. And then slowly start traveling up the mountain. Number 7. This is a big one for some people. Some people, if they would only have a little bitachon, their entire lives would have been different. Belief in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's justice. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows what he's doing. And how he judges people and judges the world. Right? To trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's justice system allows a person to let go of grudges, trusting that ultimate fairness is in Hashem's hands. How many people hold on to grudges, resentment, anger for what that person did, they can't let go because that person never apologized, that person never made amends. And you can hold on to that for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Go ask Rebbe how many families he knows that split over certain things that happened 30, 40 years ago. He's told us stories. Usually over money, some kind of narishkeit or something. Not narishkeit, but in the grand scheme of things, it's narish. But they couldn't come to terms. Not in their midos, clearly. And bitachon could have been a way the key that could have opened up the whole sugya. Okay, so this person did something wrong. Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to take care of it however he takes care of it. I don't need to worry about that. I can let the grudge go. We think by holding on to a grudge, we're getting that person back. That's what we think. But we don't realize that holding on to a grudge destroys one person more than anybody else. It's yourself. Because you hold on to a grudge, you hold on to resentment, you hold on to anger, you hold on to something negative, something black. It's in you. We think that it's on them. Like we're holding a grudge against them. They don't even know. But there's like a big black dot on their head. No, there isn't. They're having a good time, which angers you even more. Grudges, resentment only hurts us. We have to learn to let go. So you can let go. There's ways to let go. There's bittul, and there's different midos to work on. There's anava, or there's the bigger picture of bitachon, knowing that a Kadosh Baruch Hu will take care of them. If they did something wrong, then a Kadosh Baruch Hu will make sure it gets taken care of. I don't need to destroy myself until that person gets what he has coming to him. Because we know that even if a person comes and apologizes to you, not anybody here, someone did something wrong, they finally come to apologize, that wasn't good enough. Like you have the two kids fighting, and then you ask one of them, listen, you should apologize to your sibling. They don't want to do it, of course. Sorry. The other one goes, it wasn't good enough. Yeah, this is how it is with child's play. There are more serious situations and less serious situations. Okay, there could be something tremendously egregious and horrible what a person does. Remember, we have to know where we're holding a bitachon. We have to so strong. We have to remember that bitachon first and foremost is between us and the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and it's to live a better life. It's important that I'll give you a mashal. Just this morning I was davening. Fascinating. If you're in a room that's dark, and outside there's some light, you could see outside. But if you turn the lights on, it's dark outside, and you turn the lights on in your room, you can no longer see outside anymore. Another thing, if there's no light in your room, but there's a little bit of light outside, and you're looking at a window, you cannot see your reflection. But if there's light inside of your room, you can't see outside, but you see yourself. Yes? This is just science. God's science. So when you have lights on inside, when you're lit up, you don't let the rest of the world that's outside get inside of you. Rather, you see yourself for who you truly are, and you're okay with that. But when the lights are off in your place, then all you do is you see outside. You don't see yourself at all, which gets us into a lot of trouble. Right? Bitachon is a way of having a relationship with the one who runs everything, and you need less. You're not as reliant on the outside. We learned last week about needing the approval of people, right? It's similar to what we're talking about over here. I need him he needs to apologize to me for what he did. It's the principle of the matter. So until he apologizes, you're going to be beating yourself up and destroying yourself. Bitachon says, trust the Kadosh Baruch Hu that this person, whatever he did wrong, sometimes they didn't even do anything wrong. You think they did something wrong also. Bitachon says, the Kadosh Baruch Hu runs the world. He knows exactly what happened. He knows every single nook and cranny of the situation more than I even know. And therefore, I can let it go knowing that it will be taken care of however it's taken care of. And it could be in another Gilgal. We don't know. Kadosh Baruch Hu works, he doesn't work in a linear way. He lives in Hayehovaviyah. But when we live, and we've discussed this, when we live in our very narrow, constricted way, so life has to fit into this tiny little box that I make. Tiny thing. If it fits into here, I'm happy. If it's a little bit outside of what I've created, what I want, what I desire, then I'm not happy. But when you live with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, you live with Bitachon, you trust, you've just widened your scope of life. Everything could fit in because the Kadosh Baruch Hu knows much more. He knows what happened 50 years ago. He knows what's going to happen in 50 years. And I don't have to know. That's another Nakuda Bitachon. I don't have to know. This is one of the killers that we have inside of us. I have to know. It has to make sense. There needs to be vengeance. There needs to be revenge. There needs to be. It has to be. It has to make sense to me. I expect it to be. Right? Now you're living in a very narrow way, which often could be not so happy and stressful and anxiety-ridden. But when we bring a Kadosh Baruch Hu into our box, now our box expands. And I can rely on him for everything. He's like the big brother. You go into school, you're being bullied, you bring your next door neighbor is 6'3", he comes with you, he's in the 8th grade, you're in like the 4th grade. No one's going to touch you. Kadosh Baruch Hu is like a big brother. He takes care of everything. And we don't have to know exactly how he takes care of it. That's what Bitachon is. I don't have to know. So it gives us the ability, again, belief in God's justice allows a person to let go of grudges, trusting the ultimate fairness in his hands. So, for example, after being wronged in a partnership, whichever way that is, someone might let go of the desire for revenge, believing that a Kadosh Baruch Hu will balance the scales. Right? Number 8. A person with a strong bitachon often inspires others, creating a ripple effect of trust and positivity in their community. Here's a nice positive one. A manig, a leader who openly relies on the Kadosh Baruch Hu, might encourage a team or family to come together during adversity, uniting them around shared values and faith. Right? This is what we're going to get back to this actually in the lashon of Shaar Habitachon, that people who have bitachon, they are trusted people. If you trust in a Kadosh Baruch Hu, for real, and it's clear that way, just the way you speak, the way you act, then people trust you. Because they know that you're anchored not in your selfishness, but in your selflessness. And therefore, that's how leaders created. A true leader comes from a nova. A nova very often is built from bitachon. Number 9, trust in a Kadosh Baruch Hu's timing. Right? That a Kadosh Baruch Hu is the guardian of time. He's the creator of time. Reduces frustration in relationships, especially during periods of miscommunication or delay. If we truly download bitachon, we trust that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is the one, again, really, who's behind everything. Even though I'm having a relationship with another person, really that person is only the third wheel. Remember that? Kadosh Baruch Hu is really the one we have a relationship with. That's what we're doing with bitachon. And this person I'm dealing with is a third wheel. Therefore, anything that happens that would create an impatience, if there's to be miscommunication and would immediately frustrate you, gives the ability to calm down. Relax. Remember, this person is only a Shliach Hashem. This person is only running on a Kadosh Baruch Hu's time. If we're at the beginning of our avoda of bitachon, so sometimes we get upset, we get frustrated, we get stressed, we get anxious, and then we have to remember, what does bitachon mean? It means the Kadosh Baruch Hu is running this. It must be that he wants something to happen in 20 minutes, not right now, maybe in 2 months from now. I have to calm down. Right? You get emotional, and then you start to put bitachon in, you try to pull yourself back. At the higher levels of bitachon, you don't even get emotional. It's important, and we discussed this, it's important for a person once in a while to check himself. When there is a situation that could have caused emotions, or it causes emotions, where were you 6 months ago? Are you working at bitachon? And where were you 6 months ago? Where were you 3 months ago? Where were you a month ago? And many people have told me, from amongst here and outside, that because they're working bitachon, they know for sure there were certain situations that happened to them now, months after working on it, it didn't bother them at all. Or they were able to catch their breath within 20 minutes instead of losing a whole day of work, fuming over something. Because that's what bitachon. I said, that's great. Bitachon is not a magic pill that you're going to win the lottery. Right? We know that here. Bitachon is spiritually logical, and it works. It's a system, and it works. The more you bring it in, the more you stay calm. It works. It really works. People are, and we've discussed this also, people are even matmiya. They're in wonder when it works so well, and they're like, well, it can't be that I'm all Baal Bitachon. It must be I've just become desensitized to the situation. It can't be. Because me, yesterday, would have blown up over this. I would have lost sleep over this. Today, I'm not. It can't be that Bitachon. It can't be. People can't even believe that Bitachon can really work. It's that good. It's that good.
What's the result of staying calm? Or is that just the end?
What's the result?
Yeah. Bitachon leads to calmness.
Calmness is great.
That's it.
Calmness also leads to a healthy thinking system, das, right? You can make the proper decisions. Meaning, calm means, first of all, you're calm, but then you could also progress properly. Instead of making rash decisions, emotional decisions, losing days of work. It's good for your health. Menuchas hanefesh, yishuv hadas. That's living life on a steady ground. But many people, depending on your level of emotion, you're living life really your ground is actually shaking. That's how people live life. They don't realize that because the physical ground is not shaking, but in their heart, everything is like, they walk around with a lot of nerves, a lot of emotions, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. So they're really inside, they're moving. And then if something comes at them that's a little bit, off, and they're moving, they can't handle it. If you were standing on the ground and someone throws a ball at you, okay, so you have the best chance to catch the ball. But what happens when you're moving like this, side to side, and then someone throws a ball? That's so hard. Try that. Someone's going to get hit in the face. Why'd you throw the ball at my face? No, I was throwing it to your hands. I don't know what happened. Did you get all upset? You understand. It could also be b'simcha. Bitachon leads to simcha. It's big. Sometimes people just live monotone. No, it could live b'simcha. Okay. Specific, a friend who isn't returning calls, or a friend who isn't returning texts, or a client who isn't returning your emails may cause frustration and worry, and you could be nervous, and you can get depressed, and you can say, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my kid's tuition? He's not answering my email. Right? We can go to that whole world, but someone who trusts in a Kadosh Baruch Hu can approach a situation with patience, believing that the delay serves a higher purpose. And sometimes, if not most times, the reason why there's a delay, what am I going to say? You guys should know me by now.
It's very good.
Of course. Oh, give me better. And sometimes, or most times, when a Kadosh Baruch Hu causes the delay, let's speak it properly, it's because he wants you to work on bitachon. He wants you to work on patience. Simple as that. How else do you work on patience if you're not tested in patience? We just want to have the patience, just the bitachon, the emunah. Just, I read the book, I got it. That's not how it works. That's just not how it works. That's not how God created the world. It doesn't go like that. You read the book, and then he tests you in it. So anytime there's ever a delay, there's a potential impatience. Whenever there's a potential to get angry, whenever there's a potential to be stressed, every time, if you have Bitachon downloaded, you will say, number one, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is causing the situation. That's causing the potential frustration, the potential impatience, the potential worry. Step one, yes? Step two, why would he do that to me? I'm such a good guy. I'm showing Torah mitzvahs. I learn Torah. I keep Shabbos. Why would HaKadosh Baruch Hu put me in a potential anger, frustration, impatient, stressful situation? Why would he do that to me? You know why? Because he loves me so much, and he wants me to work on myself. Because if I can overcome the potential frustration, potential anger, potential impatience, potential stress, I am just a better human being. I'm a happier person. Less things bother me. We just want to snap our fingers and just not be impatient, not be frustrated. What do we do with our kids also? We just give them everything. If you give them everything, they become spoiled. I think you have to earn that. You need a chart. No, I don't want a chart. I don't want to take out the garbage. I don't want to not fight with my sister. I'm doing it for your good. What do you mean I'm doing it for your good? I want you to better yourself. Is that why you're going to school? Isn't that why I do all the things I do for you? To help you grow. If I would just give you everything on a silver platter, you become a weak, spoiled kli. Always expecting everything in life, always wanting it your way. We know this because we train our kids this way, yes? But the way we train our kids is the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu trains us. We just think we pass because we're not kids anymore. So we want the money right now. We want the patience right now. We want the ruchnius right now. We want everything right now. We don't want to ever be tested. Nothing should ever frustrate me. The weather should always be perfect. Everything should go my way. My coffee should never spill on my pants going on the way to work with a meeting. That should never happen ever. The car should always work. There should never be a blackout. The fridge should never break, ever. Why should I? I'm a good guy. Because I want you to be a better guy. It's good to work on these things, to grow. Kadosh Baruch Hu is always smiling. You have to remember that. We think he's got this grouchy face. Kadosh Baruch Hu is always smiling. It looks hard on us. It's a difficult situation. Yeah, the coach is also smiling when he makes the team run 50 laps or 100 suicides, if you know what those were back in basketball. Okay, it's my PTSD from running too many suicides. But the coach is smiling because he knows this is going to help the guys in the gym. You're working out; it hurts. But Lamaisa, that's how you grow muscles. But that we understand. In the gym, we get the sport, we get that. But it shouldn't happen in my social life. It shouldn't happen with my family. It shouldn't happen with my shul, with my rap. Well, that should go easy, especially when it's spirituality. Kadosh Baruch Hu, Kadosh Baruch Hu, I want to be a good Jew. I want to learn. So the second I want to learn, you should just make me know all of Torah to the Kula. The second I want to daven, I should just be able to daven like the Baal Shem Tov. No? The second I want to work on midas, Kadosh Baruch Hu, I want to work on midas for you. Lishma. So I should just become the Mesilas Yesharim. Right? Snap the fingers. That's what I want. It's a good thought. Kadosh Baruch Hu, I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for fame, not for covet. I just want to serve you. So I'm going to snap my fingers, and I'm going to become the biggest Talmid Chacham, the biggest davener, the biggest midas, shalom all around. Yes? 1, 2. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, sure, of course we could do that. That's amazing. I love your approach to life. Now let's get to work. Roll up your sleeves. Bitachon gives you the ability to handle the work that he's giving us to grow for ourselves. But we try to always stunt the growth. By saying, I want it now, becoming impatient, we're stunting the potential of becoming a true tzaddik. Not the Welt tzaddik, so they can write an article book about you. I don't care about that. In your own life, with your own self, with your own family, your own friends, to be a tzaddik amongst the people. Right there. Number 10. In general, Bitachon and HaKadosh Baruch Hu places a high value on shalom, on peace. As peace is a divine ideal. Shalom, shleimus. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name is shalom. And Rabbi always says when he says that, you're not allowed to say shalom in the mikveh. You're not allowed to say the shalom. Everybody knows that. Halacha. Because everybody says shalom aleichem. You're not supposed to say that. Not supposed to take a Shabbos either, and then by the mikveh, you get an Erev Shabbos, not supposed to in the mikveh. Okay, in parentheses, not a halacha share. Al So shalom, shlemus. The only thing in this world that is shalom, there is nothing else besides Kadosh Baruch Hu. Nothing else is shalom. Okay, Torah, it's pure sense, but we usually learn Torah. Kadosh Baruch Hu is shalom, shlemus. So therefore, he always wants shalom. We know machlokas is the worst of the worst. Every time you have machlokas, right? Korach, he had a machlokas with Moshe, says the Zohar. Korach had machlokas with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Because all machlokas is an attack on a Kadosh Baruch Hu. That's how dangerous it is. That's why the earth opens up and swallows you. You can't be here. In marriage, in any relationship, but we'll go to marriage right now. Bitachon and HaKadosh Baruch Hu can help spouses see each other as partners in a divine mission, promoting collaboration over conflict. What does HaKadosh Baruch Hu want? Most machlokes is, what do I want? What do I think is right? And we try to hide, no, this is what's right. We try to hide behind that. This is what's right. No, it's what you think is right. Don't try to hide behind what you think. And therefore, I can do whatever I think falls within what's right. And I can try to destroy you because you're standing in the way of what's right. And I can be mavazi you. And I could say sheker if I need to. I can do all types of things because you over there, you're breaking the shlemus. You're breaking the shalom because I know what's right. Right. That's how people think. It's really insanity. And two sides going at it, going to base them, they both think they're right. 100%. There's nothing to talk about. Yes, in your perspective, you're right. In your perspective, you're right. 100%. But that's not the world's perspective. What does a Kadosh Baruch Hu want? If you have a relationship with a Kadosh Baruch Hu, and it's you and him, you have a real relationship. You really trust in a Kadosh Baruch Hu. So isn't that always the first move? But what do you think is right here? I trust your opinion more than I trust my opinion. That's what bitachon is. I trust you over me. Now, very often, it's on us. It's on us. He wants it to be on us. But once in a while, we have to ask, when it's a sticky situation, Kadosh Baruch Hu, what do you want? What kind of job do you think I should get? How should I handle the situation? Should I be out there? I'm going to lose some money. Kadosh Baruch Hu, what do you think? What do you think of Kadosh Baruch Hu? Let me take my own ego out of this. Get out of this for a second. I take my own emotions out of it, my own hurt ego. We take all that out. What do you think would be best HaKadosh Baruch Hu for this situation? You have to be a big man to be able to do that. I'm talking about sticky situations. Of course, the kol shekein, the little narishkeit situations that we deal with. But there's big sticky situations. Bitachon can help you become a bigger person. But not so that you say, hey, I'm the bigger person, I'm going to be mevater. Then you're the smaller person. Truly, Kadosh Baruch Hu wants shalom. Communication. He wants openness. Do what you need to do to make a Kadosh Baruch Hu, because if you really trust him, and you really know the world runs by him, and he really knows what's true and fair and ethical, and he'll make sure that the justice system works exactly how it goes, even if you don't see it with your own eyes. Because you have no idea. How narrow-minded are we? Person gets into a money squabble. Is that a good word? Gets into a money situation with somebody else. And he's ready to be, okay, he's fighting for the money. He's ready to be mavater over the money, whatever it is. Now he knows, Kadosh Baruch Hu runs the world. He's going to take care of me. I know he is. I'm ready. I'm able to give. I'm going to be mavater to this person. For the sake of shalom. Big person. He's trusting Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu runs the world. He knows the balances. So he's ready now to give over $10,000. He's mavater. He thinks it should have been his. Whatever. He gives it up. Now what's he doing? Okay. So Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to pay me back somehow. So what happens? A business investment comes. Out of the blue. Guy's like, wow, this is it. It's an opportunity. Kadosh Baruch Hu is sending it to me. So he invests $50,000 in the business. He's for sure going to make, right? Because he just gave up to this person with the trust that a Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to, he knows the scales. He loses all his money. Right? This person could totally lose his mind. Was he right or was he wrong? Maybe bitachon doesn't work. Bitachon doesn't work. I just said, Kadosh Baruch Hu wants shalom, and a Kadosh Baruch Hu is the big justice. He's the head of the Supreme Court. And he knows exactly what it should be. So what do you mean? So I gave him the 10,000. So isn't a Kadosh Baruch Hu supposed to pay me back? He's fair, no? What's like the 500 answers to that problem?
He was relying on the investment, not the invention. You don't know what the future is. You don't know what.
There's a million answers.
Well, bitachon doesn't work when you're expecting something in return.
First of all, you have no idea what to expect. Who said it's going to come monetarily? First of all, who said? If you live with a Kadosh Baruch Hu, he's going to take care of you because he knows the justice system. First of all, you might have been wrong. Let's go back. First of all, you think you're being voucher 10,000. Maybe Taka, you weren't really right. Maybe you were only $100. Only half of that was supposed to be voucher. Half it was supposed to be sharp. First of all, you don't even know. Second of all, how do you know that a Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to pay you back with money? If you trust a Kadosh Baruch Hu, listen, it's very important. If you truly trust a Kadosh Baruch Hu, you are not narrow in how he takes care of you. We think, well, if I am about their money, I'll get money. Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't work on your schedule. If you give up money, Kadosh Baruch Hu will give you another year of your life. You'll never know. Because you never knew you were supposed to live to 99 and now you're living to 100. You have no idea. But if you trust the Kadosh Baruch Hu, you don't need to know. And when you lose a $50,000, a real Baal Bitachon, first of all, it could be he would never invested it. Maybe he didn't because he didn't. A real Baal Bitachon might say, this is not a good investment. I'm not going to get tricked by this narish guy thinking of maybe I'll make 10,000 first of all. But even if he does think it's not a good investment, it's a good investment. And maybe, in the back of his head, maybe this is how Kadosh Baruch Hu wants to pay me back. He loses all the money. What does Baal Bitachon say? I guess not.
Yeah, but there's a meaning for everything. So, if you lost money, it means maybe it's a tshuva or something else.
For sure. But you have the wherewithal to say that. See, a non-Baal Bitachon is going to get angry. If you're upset, Kadosh Baruch Hu, how could you do that to me? He won't be able to do tshuva. Bitachon says, stay calm, and now think straight. First of all, I'm calm. I'm not losing my brains. And now, maybe I need to do tshuva. A healthy progression of a situation. Maybe you could give a million maybes if you want to. Maybe someone in my family, law Aleinu, something should have happened, and a Kadosh Baruch Hu was mechaper early and he gave 50. You could do all the examples you want that makes you feel good, if you need that. Or you go the higher route if you're there and say, I don't have to know. Kadosh Baruch Hu knows. That's it. Again, that's assuming I made the proper investment choice. Could be that was just improper. But assume I made the proper investment choice with ishtailus and bitachon, like we've discussed, and then the money loses. So it's the same situation as if any time you invest any money, which should be done with bitachon properly, because bitachon already from the beginning of the investment already sets your expectations, which is one expectation. Ratzon Hashem. Who invests like that? But that's not for now, that we've discussed. But it's important because I'm still hearing people investing money and then losing their minds. If you're going to invest money and you're living in the world of bitachon, make sure you're doing it with bitachon. Don't make any investments without holding this book in your hand.
What's the barometer? How do you know that you're holding on to the person and not that investment?
You have to do your shtadlis, first of all. Make sure that it's a proper, logically sound investment. And even if it's a little risky, but you have to have a Kadosh Baruch Hu in the forefront. What does that mean? That a Kadosh Baruch Hu is the one who decides everything for my best. So I'm going to give this money, signing on my star with the Kadosh Baruch Hu first, my partner. Kadosh Baruch Hu, whatever happens, I'm going to stay calm and happy. Write that in your star before you make a star with some business guy. If you do that, you did it with bitachon. Now, that doesn't mean afterwards you're not going to be upset, but at least do what's right. At least do what sets you in the right situation. Otherwise, you might make, great. And if you don't, you're in big trouble. And even if you do, you're in big trouble. Why? If you don't start the investment with the Kadosh Baruch Hu and you make a lot of money, why are you also in trouble? Maybe even more trouble? Look at me, I'm such a good investor. And you know what's going to happen? Then you're going to bump it up to the $1 million range, and then you're really going to lose. And now you're going to be, it's game over. It's a setup. It was a setup. And the only way that a Kadosh Baruch Hu could have taught you the lesson that it wasn't you on the $50,000 deal was if you would not lose yourself and you have be talking the $1 million deal. It's the only way he can teach you the lesson. But most people are not ready. If you lost the 50,000, you're going to lose the $1 million. Unless, does everybody follow what just happened there? This happens all the time. If you have real bitachon, real, not words, real, you can live with it at every moment. There's never a moment that can't be under the auspices of bitachon. A true relationship, a true trust in the Kodesh Baruch Hu in every situation. What do you think about over there?
Say it again. Say it again.
Say it again. You say it.
What do you say?
No, the last part you said, with $1 million, 50.
Yeah.
Oh, that
It
part?
was fast. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was saying that if a person invests, we're just using this as an example, $50,000 investment. He does not do it with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. He does it because he's an investor. No bitachon, just stam guy. And he wins. He doubles his money, makes $100,000. Right? Now this person can become a big Baal Gaiva. He could be even further from believing in a Kadosh Baruch Hu because, look, I made the money. He doesn't say this, but in his head. I made the money. Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't run the money. I do. I made the investment, and I made. But that's not going to better this person. This person, to become a better human being and a better Jew, is to be a person of Emunah and Bitachon, which means a Kadosh Baruch Hu does run the money. So what's going to happen? Now, Kadosh Baruch Hu has to teach him this lesson, because if he keeps going on in life, thinking it's him, who knows where he can end up, right? Become a massive Baal Gaiva and end up doing sins. I don't know, but we don't know where he can end up. Could be he doesn't end up there, but he could. Kadosh Baruch Hu knows. So Kadosh Baruch Hu says, I have to help him. So how am I going to teach this person the lesson of Emunah Bitachon? So I have to again give him a certain situation, a similar situation, where he can again choose himself or me. So it's going to be another investment situation. Now the problem is here is that he already thinks he's the Bailam of big deals. He thinks he's the man. So he needs to have a bigger deal. He needs to have a bigger deal. Akash has to come over the top. If a guy loses a few $1,000s, okay, whatever. But he'll be like, I don't know, that was a mistake or something. But listen, I made that $50,000 deal. I'm still the man. So Akash wasn't offering him a bigger deal. And now he thinks, right, in his situation, he thinks he's the man. And now he's going to go into a $200,000 deal, a $300,000 deal, a $500,000 deal. And what can happen is he could lose the whole thing. That's a Kadosh Baruch Hu's way of trying to humble him. To show you, you're not such a big boss. You got lucky on that one. Remember, there's something bigger than you. Look, you made a mistake. But if a person doesn't have any ounce of Emunah Bitachon, he's just going to get angry and upset. So Kadosh Baruch Hu challenges us all the time with bigger situations to give us the opportunity either to help us grow more or just to get back on track for what we missed the first time. People who don't live in the world of Bitachon have no idea what we're talking about. But if you're living in the world of Bitachon, this is what's happening, because isn't a Kadosh Baruch Hu running every single situation at all times? Doesn't he keep cheshbon with everything? Doesn't he want the best for me? When you put all those things together, you get life. And difficulties, and challenges, and nisyonos. Yeah? Still good? Okay. So that was the 10th, and I'll just say the specific again because it is important. It's a longer shmooze. But in terms of, let's say, the relationship of marriage, Bitachon can tremendously help. Because shalom bayis, make peace in the house, don't have conflict. Of course it means that. It also means bring shalom, bring a Kadosh Baruch Hu into the house. If there's a family who's living with Emunah Bitachon, a husband and wife, as much as possible, then they're going to get into a lot less disputes because the Borei Olam's in the house. Kipshuto, he's just in the house. People think differently. I had a guy who just told me, I forgot who just told me, that he's working on a Emunah Bitachon. Oh, yeah, no, okay. Not that I'm going to tell you, but just for myself, sorry. And he's been bringing it into the house, just because when you learn something again and again and again and again, it becomes part of your thinking, and also part of your dibur. And then, memela, a wife often picks up on it. Or if it's a wife bringing it into the home, it could be the husband picks up on it. It just becomes natural. It's not aggressive. It's not hurting anybody. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's happy. Right? When that happens, automatically, their perspective changes. This happens all the time.
Usually doesn't happen.
Which doesn't happen.
Say that they both agree on the wife and the husband agree on the.
Before Munah or after Munah? Many of them are not living with open Emunah Bitachon.
Yeah.
Everybody has closet Emunah Bitachon. Maminim b'nei maminim. But it's not open. Because it's not really Bitachon, it's really Emunah. We discussed this. It's Emunah, which is good. Everybody's a believer, 100%. It's not Bitachon, it's different. If there's open discussion of Kadosh Baruch Hu in the house, there's just Shalom's in the house. Kadosh Baruch Hu's in the house. Memela, Shalom Bayis. Memela. Again, we all have to work on our ego. We all have to work on our different midos, 100%. To work on our patience for our wives and our wives, their patience for us. Every mid in the book needs to be worked on in our relationships. But one of the tikkun klali of all is bitach, Emunah bitach. If you bring that in, it's the real deal. It's the real deal. And the more you speak about it in an open way, not an aggressive way, like you're not following what a Kadosh Baruch Hu wants. We're not doing that. It's okay. Kadosh Baruch Hu runs the road. Oh, this happened to me today. You're telling your kid, come home to dinner. You tell your kids, listen, I missed my meeting today. I failed this. This guy yelled at me. But you know what? It's okay, because I know Kadosh Baruch Hu wants the best for me and he wants me to grow. If that becomes your sprach. What? Sounds an easy day. I'm sorry. Okay, that was an easy day. I wouldn't. But if a Baal Bitachon speaks like that, just outwardly, just because that's the truth. That's the truth. Instead of pointing at that guy, I can't take that guy. Oh, you've lost money. What's wrong with this? How's it going to be? If you bring in positivity, you bring in Emunah, you bring in Bitachon, you bring in optimism, what do you think's going to happen? Aren't we the mashpim of the house? Everything will change. Kipshuta. All right, Mr. Shem will continue next week.